So let me ask you this. A few weeks ago or months ago, maybe a month ago, prior to the playoffs, you said that you would rather have about 16 to 18 better quarterbacks than Joe Flacco.
I think I had him 17th or 18th.
You had him 17th or 18th. Many of those were incredibly questionable. He was better than Joe Montana from his postseason win, Super Bowl win, to Flacco's. He had a better quarterback rating. He had more touchdowns. He had fewer turnovers. So does that change your ruling on Joe Flacco?
So I had Flacco ranked, I think, 17th or 18th. It was debatable. I could have, there were guys who were close. I could have had him as high as 15 or as low as 18, as I recall, in that list. You take those sort of serious analytical breakdown of statistics. One of the ways to do it is assign a certain number of points, which guys have done, like at Number Fire and similar things at other groups that sort of at sabermetric look at stats. Joe Flacco, net expected points per play. Every play you have corresponds to a certain number of points, positive or negative. Joe Flacco, on a ranking of quarterbacks this year, was 18th in the regular season at that. He was the 18th most effective quarterback. That is essentially all I was saying. I had seen a guy seemingly
how many
about
points
to
he
get
could score on a certain play?
What he actually contributed over an average quarterback to the Ravens offense. He was an incredibly average quarterback this year. He created, in the first 3 playoff games, he was worth more. He was worth 46 points, essentially, to the Ravens in the first 3 playoff games. He generated 50 points in all 16 regular season games. His playoffs, and then that doesn't even count the Super Bowl, where he obviously played incredibly well again. This was a player who did not perform at nearly an elite level. That was the point I was making, that we were seeing a quarterback who had appeared to be pretty good as a rookie, started to get better, and then what I saw this year was a leveling off into an incredibly average quarterback. And if you're the Ravens, that conversation started, is this the guy you want going forward, based on what we'd seen at this point? And I named, I thought fairly easily, 17 quarterbacks I would rather have. Jay Cutler was debatable. Sam Bradford was debatable, but I would still take Bradford over Flacco. I would not now take Cutler. Tony Romo, to you, was debatable, not to me. Tony Romo, much more effective quarterback.
You'd still take Tony Romo?
I'd still take Tony Romo. Look, I don't know whether I'd still take Tony Romo. I haven't really thought, because
Alex Smith.
Now the playoffs have happened, right? Yeah. And obviously Joe Flacco, my argument was, Joe Flacco didn't make many plays this year. He didn't. Raven fans know that. You know that. Now you just had 4 playoff games where this guy made play after play after play after play. If I were going to do it now, he'd probably be 11th or 12th. But I mean, I'd still take a whole handful of guys.
Would you take Matt Schaub over him?
Matt Schaub is a guy who was debating with Steve-O. Steve-O would take Flacco, and says he would have taken Flacco over both Schaub and Roethlisberger 6 weeks ago. I think taking him over Roethlisberger was crazy 6 weeks ago. Obviously, now you can make a slightly different argument. Yeah. But there was a statistical basis to not look at Matt Schaub, to not look at Joe Flacco as anything close to an elite player.
What's the name of this
any number of them. Look it up. This is Number Fire, but any number of sabermetric breakdowns of quarterbacks. Joe Flacco did not make plays this year. Joe Flacco was, by definition, an average quarterback who made some, didn't make enough. A team that went 10-6 struggled. Joe Flacco's road-home splits are dramatic. Really struggles on the road.
Let me ask you this.
But now, the whole point that you're making is now we've seen 4 games, 4 high-profile games
against very good teams,
good
quarterbacks.
3 of them on the road, and he played great, no question. Some of those plays were, we have to admit, totally freaking weird. Jacoby Jones' touchdown in the Super Bowl, and Jacoby Jones' touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, in the Super Bowl,
and Jacoby Jones' touchdown, as you said, against the Broncos.
Against the Broncos, I think it was pretty. Yeah, it was luck. It was pretty much luck. But he also got it there. He stepped up into the pocket. I think his footwork has been so much better. Being able to step up in the pocket, roll around in the pocket. I think he's improved incredibly. But also on the Jacoby Jones play, there's no better person to see him burn than Chris Culliver, especially in the Super Bowl, for what he said. But he also burned Chris Culliver, and the ball got there. So I wouldn't say that was luck at all. I would say the Denver game was more luck.
It was luck that it was a touchdown. It was a bizarre-looking touchdown. Jacoby Jones was on the ground at the 12-yard line. Yeah. Like, how did that turn into a touchdown? It's just weird.
He got up and he juked the hell out of Chris Culliver.
I got